Good day, time, my fuzzies, and welcome to a quick review of a game, movie, or TV show I just finished. All thoughts and feelings are my own and are just for fun, quick way to get out my feelings on what I just played or watched. So enjoy and don't take anything too seriously. Good day, time, my fuzzies, and welcome to a quick review of Die Hard 2. Nope, not you. Die Hard 2. Overall, it was a good action flick. I did enjoy it. It had some good scenes in it. But not as good as the first one, I think. The beginning was a little slow. You didn't really have much of a offensive battle between John McClane and the villain of this. So you didn't have the back and forth of witty banter and whatnot. Things kind of just went along. There was a lot more luck based in this movie, where he's just shooting or the guys are shooting at him from pretty close range and don't kill him. Whereas in the first one, everything felt like he was hiding, but he got hurt still in a lot of areas. Here, it was a lot more superhero-ish than the other one, where he would just go through and then when he needs to win, he's going to win. But not bad overall. But saying that, let's get more into some stuff with the story. So the story here is, it takes place, I think, a year on Christmas or after the events of the first movie, where McClane's at an airport. He sees some suspicious goings-on and stops them. In doing so, and finding his own lead, while the cop on duty security on duty doesn't believe him, finds out the guy he accidentally killed had been dead for a while, which leads him into investigating more. And soon enough, while he thinks something is up, the bad guys hatch their plan, taking over the airport, taking over their runways. No one can talk to the planes, and threatens that the plane will go if they don't get their drug dealer leader guy from X country who has been arrested and is now on the route to the airport. But so things go on, shenanigans ensue. McClane tries to stop them. Good action happens. There's a good back and forth, some good fights, and in the end, McClane does finally win in an explosive fashion. And overall, for the story, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. Really slow at the beginning to get into things, because I think you get him fighting a bunch of guys in the airport like 10 to 15 minutes in, and then it's not until like around an hour or more. Well, there's little things that go on, but the ending had a lot of congruent keeping good pace action, from fighting in a place to chasing them down to trying to get a hold of the plane they're in, yada yada yada. So, fine story. Like I said, I don't think it's as strong as the first one was. There's a lot more variables and luck for the good guys, or the bad guys in this one, and even McClane had a lot of luck on his hands. Whereas the first one, it felt like everything was really well planned. Even though John interrupted a lot of their plans, they still were able to go forth and still do pretty good. Or evil, I should say. And McClane here, a lot of it was just luck. Him going, oh yeah, maybe we should go over there, and whatnot. A lot more luck-based than just him using his own intuition to do stuff. Not a bad thing. Not a bad thing, mind you. But still a weird thing. Besides that, let's look more towards the characters. And in this one, while there's more characters, there was a lot less developed characters in situations. Because you still have John McClane being a badass, a little more so than last time. But you have a head security officer who doesn't like McClane, and he doesn't like McClane, that's his thing. Comes around in the end to trust McClane, at least. Then you have the air traffic leader, minister, head honcho, whoever it is, who's trying to get a hold of things and can't. You have a janitor who helped McClane, but is kind of just there. They have some witty banter back and forth that doesn't overly matter. And then you have another someone from air traffic control, I think the head of air traffic control, who is trying to help McClane do a lot of stuff, figure things out, and guides him along in certain areas to get them places. And then you have the bad guy terrorist who's in charge of getting the one drug dealer, kingpin, whoever, in their hands and out of the hands of the justice system. He was fine, I guess. Again, he's kind of menacing, but it didn't have the same thing as Hans Gruber did, where he's kind of just going through motions of getting stuff done. When something happens, he goes, "Oh, well, that sucks," and moves on. Whereas the other one, I felt, had more of a bond going against John, Hans Gruber did, and whatnot. Still fine, but not overly memorable as a villain. Neither was the military people who came in to assist John and everyone to get them. He's kind of just the tough as nails military leader. You know the trope well if you know any trope about it. And even the head honcho kingpin drug dealer guy, fine, didn't really add much. John McClane's the biggest draw. Everyone else was, again, just fine. His wife's in it again. She's kind of just there. The one prick newscaster guy is there again. Again, he's just a prick getting the news out way before it should. But whereas in the first one, it led to Hans learning, oh, John McClane is married to Holly, who we have, who changed her last name, through the kids and whatnot. So he gets the connection through there. For this one, it just kind of adds to chaos in the way that everyone in the airport learns, oh, there are terrorists taking over this airport. So they all run out to leave and get out of there. That stopped the cops a bit. But that leads to him getting a helicopter to go after the bad guys, which helps him out better. And probably would have been better. And he probably wouldn't have gotten there if not for the helicopter. So it's kind of just more chaos scene, I guess, with him. I don't know. The characters are fine. John McClane is a lot more like himself. Not many memorable lines from this one. Because what? From the first one you had, like, I have... Now I have machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. They use that one again. First one they use it twice. This one they use it once. Yeah, he's... Oh, it's okay. I think he was less useful here than the other one, where he does do a lot of good stuff, but kind of falls flat. Fine though, enjoyable with the characters and whatnot. They get what you want to get, which is the action. But the setting being the airport, this one even has less of a lot of areas. Because you have the air traffic area, the main airport you see a few times. You have the church area that the main bad guys are held up in. Runways in the snow. Planes. Some planes for interpersonal action and whatnot. And, like, again, it's a fine set piece to have. But whereas the first one felt contained in a building, no one can leave, no one can enter, and whatnot. This one kind of felt like the main guys aren't even in the airport where the guys are. Everything's just kind of happening around the airport. So it's kind of more lax. It works, but the scenery is kind of just there because that's what the story demands it, rather than the story being made because of the area they're in. Because they were in the building Nakatomi Plaza in the first one, there was a lot of area to go to. Everything felt succinct. He went from floor to floor to do stuff. He could only do certain things because of the elevator. Here, he has free range to go everywhere, and the only reason he really goes anywhere is when he hears something might be going on, and a lot of it, again, is just luck. He just so happens to hear the one guy talking about, oh, we need to go to this area. Okay, I'm gonna go to that area. Lucky me, the bad guys were there patrolling that area. For some reason, a red herring, which doesn't even make sense, because they blow up the terminal, the guys are going to the terminal. They could have allowed them to get close to the terminal and blew it up, and they wouldn't have lost any men. It's more of... I don't know, that's a weird scene. A lot of things just happen, and John just has to kind of go for the ride. Where the other one, John was more active in it. It's hard to explain. I'm doing a quick review. I can't really figure good thoughts either, which doesn't help. But like, where the first one, yeah, either way, it's fine. Like I said, I think the first one had more for him going around and whatnot, getting hurt and having to re-move because people were on him. This one just had him playing catch-up with the bad guys and just getting where he needed to go because that's where he needs to go instead of, like, being cornered into an area. Fine setting, but it's kind of... fine setting. I'll leave it there. Going into the action action's still pretty good. There's a lot of good action scenes, a lot of good explosions with some really, really clear CGI, unfortunately, but sometimes that's what you get. Besides that, some good gunfights, some good skidoo movements, some good explosions and planes and whatnot. Overall, the action's still good. I enjoyed it greatly. Just slow in a lot of areas to get to anything good. And then just a lot of buildup of just waiting for things to happen. Besides that, with the legacy of it coming off of Die Hard 1, it works, I guess. Like, people know who John McClane is now because of the first one. But besides that, like I said, it was a lot slower in areas. Didn't have as much high-octane thrills as the first one did. I've talked a lot, even before the legacy portion of my thing, about how I feel compared to the first one. And it's still a fine adventure. I still like the first one better. Still like the first one better. But, for what we get, it's pretty darn good. All in all, the characters are fine. John's the only one that stands out, and even then it kind of just feels like he's saying stuff and going where he needs to go because that's what the script decided. And luckily the script says he doesn't get hit here, so he doesn't. Where the first one, he was kind of guided by his own intuition and what was going on, reacting to what they did, as well as reacting to what was going on. Where this one, it was kind of just a lot more reacting to what was going on, rather than him figuring out what was going on. But, again, they weren't really at the airport, so he couldn't really follow clues and whatnot to figure things out. And the other side characters are just really there to push things along. And again, not much to say. Fine characters, but nothing really spectacular. And the setting being an airport was nice. You got some good shots, some good areas, beautiful winter wonderland and whatnot. But, fine. Works for what the movie is. And, yeah. Legacy, first one's better in my opinion. Though this one's not bad, I probably would watch it again. But definitely the first one I will probably watch it. I would definitely watch again if someone's like, hey, do you want to watch Die Hard 1? I'd be like, yeah, I like it. It's a good movie. Let's watch it. Hey, do you want to watch Die Hard 2? Maybe. Not opposed to it. But either way, that's it. That's my quick review. A fine movie. Dang mosquito. A fine movie. Just fine. Dang mosquito. But either way, I'm gonna leave this here. Thank you, my fuzzies, for watching, and I'll see you next anytime. Take care.